Hey, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is something that I'm really excited to talk about, even though sometimes I find it so frustrating to constantly talk about and to constantly have people ask me, why don't you have any children? And to constantly be questioned about what I should do with my own uterus or opinions about what I should do with my uterus and why I should have children and what I'll be missing out on. And oh my gosh. So today's topic is why can't they leave child-free people alone, right? And this has happened or is currently happening in the workplace, during family gatherings, social gatherings, when you're meeting somebody for the first time. Oh my gosh, it never ends, right? And for me, I'm the kind of person, I don't feel as though there's anything wrong with asking somebody or somebody asking me if I have children. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't take offense to that. It's a very common question. It's something that's pretty much expected these days, right? When I get the question about, do I have any children? And when I say no, I feel as though it's like it's time to move on to another topic. It only offends me or gets on my nerves when I'm berated with questions about, oh, why don't you have any children? How old are you? You don't have any kids yet? You missing out. You know what you're missing out on. You're gonna regret it one day. You're gonna be old and lonely. Oh my gosh. It's so annoying. And then not to mention, like when you go on dates, first dates, and they say that it's a red flag. I don't understand how having no children is a red flag when people that have these multiple baby daddies or multiple baby mamas, and I hate saying those terms, but I feel as though I need to say them in this video because that's the best way to describe the situation. But when you have multiple fathers or multiple mothers of your children, it doesn't get a lot of pushback as a child-free person does. Like they don't consider those things a red flag, at least not verbally. They may think it in their head and not say anything, but they feel the need to say whatever they need to say about child-free people and how it's considered a red flag, especially if you're a certain age, if you're like over 30 or over 35 with no children. I don't know how that's a red flag. So I literally went to ChatGPT and asked them, why is having no children over, I put age 35, over age 35 a red flag? And here's the response. And I love this response, by the way. Okay. So it says, according to ChatGPT, those that think people over 35 with no children are a red flag is because they have old-fashioned beliefs rooted in outdated societal norms. Parenthood is a deeply personal decision, and plenty of happy and fulfilled, successful people don't have children. Amen. Hallelujah. That's all I needed to see. Like, I love that response. So, if you are watching this and you're child free, you know for sure 100% that you do not want children. And especially if you're a certain age, like over 30, it's not a red flag. There's nothing wrong with you for not having any children. If anything, you have weighed the pros and cons. You have probably taken more time to think about why you shouldn't have children than most parents have thought about why they should have them. Like a lot of them, they just had their children on a whim. Like it just happened. If you don't believe me, ask some of them. And some of them will probably tell you that they wish that they would have waited. Okay. So that says a lot right there. So let's talk about how being child-free in the workplace, how that looks, how that shows up. I know when I was working in certain offices, especially during the early 2000s, and when I was approaching age 30, certain comments will be made to me about, oh, your clock is ticking. You better hurry up and find somebody and have a child before it's too late and all that. It's like they treat age 30 as the end all be all. And it's so annoying, not just from coworkers, but also family members and people that you meet along the way that feel as though they need to have an input on what you do with your life. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how annoying it is. I know I said it before, but oh my God, even as a 41-year-old, I still get questions about whether or not I'm going to have children one day. Like, y'all, I'm almost at menopause age. I'm like almost what, halfway there, close to being there. No, the eggs are dried up. Okay, leave me alone. But going back to being child free in the workplace and how those conversations come about and get started. I feel as though people should not have those conversations in the workplace, because also there's certain people that don't have children that are unable to have them. So by berating them and asking them why they don't have any children yet and wondering why they don't have children at a certain age, you don't know how that's going to trigger them. You might even get cussed out by the right person if you don't shut your mouth and mind your own business. Okay. But just be cognizant of those type of situations, because not everybody is able to have children. Some have had miscarriages in the past. Some have fibroids, and what's the other one? Endometriosis, and are unable to have children. So you just never know what a woman is going through. And even your child-free male coworker, do not ask him either, why doesn't he have children? Because you don't know what him and his wife or girlfriend or partner are experiencing along their parental journey, trying to get pregnant. So just again, be aware of what comes out of your mouth. Think before you speak, and just leave people alone and what they decide to do with their bodies. Okay. But yeah, ultimately, being child free is a deeply personal decision. Like I said before, people have weighed the pros and cons and have decided that not having children is going to be the best thing for them. Me personally, I just know that I did not ever want to experience pregnancy. It just seems like an excruciatingly painful experience that just, oh my gosh, it just grosses me out, to be frank. Like, it just seems like it's super painful. Not just giving birth itself, but having to carry around all of that for 9 months. And the postpartum depression was a whole nother thing I thought about. The morning sickness, or potential morning sickness, as I understand that a lot of women, or some women, don't even experience the vomiting and morning sickness and all that. But I never wanted to take a chance and find out if that was going to be me or not. So that's another thing. And yeah, like I said, the postpartum, and then also babies crying. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. So I just know that even though I would love the child, I wouldn't per se love my life during those first 3 or 4 years or so of having to take care of a baby and infants, and having to potty train. And oh my gosh, yeah, I just never wanted to do any of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that people that have found this video may feel the same way that I feel, or have their own separate reasons why they choose not to have children. And if you are in the category of those that are unable to have children, just know that my heart goes out to you, and I do deeply empathize with you as well. But yeah, I'll be glad when a day comes when you're meeting people for the first time, they don't feel the need to ask you about why don't you have any children yet. And I just feel like certain conversation starters are just so old-fashioned and very intrusive, and people need to find better ways to spark a conversation other than prying into somebody's business. And then here's another thing: when people find out you don't have children, they have this misconception that you don't like them, like there's something wrong with you because you don't have children, because you, quote unquote, hate them. That's not the case either. A lot of us that don't have children, we are great mentors. We're great aunties and uncles. We're great older cousins to those younger people in our families. We just don't feel the need or the desire to have children in our houses and our space 24/7. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like I covered pretty much everything. I have been recording back to back for the past couple of hours. I recorded 4 videos back to back so I can get them scheduled and stuff like that. So at this point, my throat is very dry. I'm tired of talking. And in true introverted fashion, I'm going to take a break for the rest of this evening and not say anything, not talk to anybody, because I have talked enough during these past few hours. But ultimately, I just want to drive the point home and just let people know to stop bothering us child-free people, because we don't bother you. We don't ask you certain intrusive questions about why did you choose to have children? Do you feel like you're going to regret having a child in your house one day when he's beyond age, I guess, 25 and things like that? Because parenthood is a lifelong responsibility. You're still that person's parent beyond age 18, okay? And that's something that us child-free people thought about as well, because not everybody has a child and is successful and goes to college or starts their own business and does not need their parents after a certain age. There are some people that still need their parents, and some parents that feel like they want to just be free of all parental duties because they feel like their child is grown and they have quote unquote raised them. But no, that's not always the case. And that's something that I thought about as well, and other child-free people thought about too. And here's something else I considered. Like years later, I discovered this as well. I have a hard time with grief. You know, that's something that I struggle with. And I cannot fathom losing my child before his or her time. Like, oh my gosh, that would tear me up mentally. And like I said before, child-free people, we take time to think about all of, a lot of things before deciding not to have children. And there are some parents that had to bury their child or their children, and I cannot imagine what they went through. And that would be so difficult for me. So that's another reason why I choose not to have children, to just avoid that from happening at all. So I know that that was kind of somber, but it's just the truth. So yes, all in all, us as child-free people, we do have a heart. We do not dislike children. We are not selfish. We're self-aware. So understand that. And I just wish that more people would leave us alone, let us be. We're not, what that man say, JD Vance or whoever that clown is, what do you say? Childless cat ladies. The thing with me is I don't even like cats. I'm not even a pet person in general. So that whole insult did not faze me at all. Childless cat ladies, come on now. Okay, so as I close out this video, I would like for you as a child-free person, I want you to send this to somebody that you feel needs to hear this message, and let them know that just because you're child-free does not mean that they need to berate you or give their opinions about what you should do with your body constantly, okay? So I hope that this video resonated with you. If you learned something, let me know in the comments. If you want to share something, let me know in the comments as well. As you know, I always comment back. And as I say in all my videos, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm back. I was editing this video and I realized that I left out a major thing that I hear from people that always criticize us as child-free people regarding legacy. They say certain things like, oh, what about your legacy? You're never going to have a legacy one day. Not even realizing that they don't understand what the word legacy means. I'm not going to give you a technical definition, but I will give you an example or two to kind of drive the point home regarding legacy and lineage. What they mean to say is lineage when they say legacy. Okay, perfect example. We all know about Steve Jobs. His legacy was what? Apple, right? Apple products. Did you know that he has or had 4 children? I didn't know that either until I researched it. So that is his lineage. His 4 children are his lineage. His legacy is Apple. Get it now? Another example would be Rosa Parks. We all know about Rosa Parks and what she did during the civil rights movement. I don't even need to go into detail about that. But did you know she didn't have her own children? She had a stepchild, or I think it was a couple of stepchildren from her husband. He had his own children, but she was a stepmother to them. And we all know about her legacy, like I said. But she did not have a lineage of her own children. So I hope that those 2 examples help these people to understand the difference between legacy and lineage. Anybody can create a lineage if they're able to, create children and birth and have children, right? But very few people can have a real legacy. So they need to understand what they're talking about before they say, oh, you're never going to have a legacy. Because yes, I will. And yes, I do. Quite frankly, people know me from writing books. Did you know I've written 3 books? And, well, written and self-published 3 books. Here they are right here. They're on Amazon, by the way. But this is one for the child-free community, 15 reasons I'm child-free, because I knew at age 15 I didn't want children. So there's 15 stories in here. 12 stories are mine. 3 stories are from my child-free friends. And these are all stories to help to validate your child-free choice. And then I wrote this. I was bitter, now I'm better. This was my healing journey from relationships and dating situations in the past. This is also on Amazon. And this one right here is a journal for the child-free community, but this one is no longer available for purchase. It's what you call it. I keep wanting to say expired, but that's not the right word, but I'll just say out of print because there's one word, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of what to say right now, but this is out of print. So I'm no longer making these journals. But like I said, these 2 books can be found on Amazon. I'll go ahead and leave the links in the description. There's also links in my bio. But yeah, legacy and lineage are 2 different things. And that's something I wanted to point out in this video here. But yeah, anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe. See you next time. Bye.